Hi, this is Brian Klug with AnandTech, and what I've got here in front of the camera are the Motorola Droid RAZR and the Motorola Droid RAZR MAXX. So I think you'd be pretty hard-pressed at this point to tell which one is the RAZR and which one is the RAZR MAXX, but basically you can tell by looking at just the front of the device based on the color of the logo. So the silver connotes the RAZR that's normal, and the black connotes the RAZR MAXX. So if you're watching this, you probably already know what the difference is. And that's of course the difference in battery. So the RAZR MAXX is a 3300 milliamp hour battery, which in watt hours is 12.5 watt hours. The normal RAZR has a 1750 milliamp hour battery, which is 6.7 watt hours. So obviously you get the benefit of a 1.8 times the size battery in the RAZR MAXX, and also you get this change in thickness. So the RAZR MAXX is a little bit thicker. And it isn't that big of a change, but you know, it's definitely a little bit bigger. So you can see that the thickest point of the device, which is at the top here for the camera and speaker, the two are the exact same thickness, so around 10.6 millimeters. And the normal, you know, sort of the extent of the device, the RAZR MAXX is thicker at 9.2 millimeters as opposed to 7.2 millimeters. So you know, you put on 2 millimeters, but it's not that big of a deal. And if you come over to this side, everything is still the same too. You have the power button and then volume rocker, and really that's the only difference between the two devices. Is this difference in thickness requires that basically all the space. The change in battery requires that all the space that you normally get by having this concave area, is dedicated just to the battery. And otherwise the two devices are exactly the same. They have the same product number, the same model number, and the same FCC ID, and literally they're the exact same. So they run the same software, they'll get the same updates, all that jazz. They're literally one phone with just a different battery and different physical exterior. So everything we've said about the normal RAZR already applies to the RAZR MAXX. Of course the platform has had the benefit of some software updates since we last talked about it. So things have gotten better since we looked at the RAZR. The specifically camera performance. I complained a little bit about sort of the camera UI having some problems. That's fixed now. And of course there's an additional update which just went out recently that improves battery life a little bit, specifically by enabling connected discontinuous reception mode. So if you're in a market that has that, then basically you get a little bit of power savings. We haven't measured it yet because I'm not in one of those markets. And basically, that'll help you last even longer on LTE. So of course, what's interesting is that even though the two run the exact same software, the RAZR review unit that I still have kicking around hasn't gotten, its software update push, whereas the MAXX did, just like yesterday. So you can see that they've sort of changed the skin around a little bit, have some icons. In addition, the software build is 2.3.6. It's a little bit disappointing to not see 4.0 pushed out yet. Motorola is working on that, but of course, there's nothing you can really do about it until that happens. It's still a little bit frustrating to see 2.3. But other than that, it's it's good on Motorola for at least getting to the latest version of 2.3. And other than that, there's really not a lot to talk about. The two still have the same OMAP 4430. You have the same PowerVR SGX 540 performance, the same Super AMOLED Advanced display, which you love it or hate it. It's there at 4.3 inches in diagonal, QHD. All that stuff still applies. And everything else is exactly the same. You just get almost 2x the battery. And in the use cases that I normally encounter, that's definitely beneficial. You can almost make it through 2 days. I kind of dislike battery monologues because everybody uses their device differently. And sort of the use case that I have, is a lot of email checking, browsing the web, Twitter, speed test. I'm going to be totally honest, I just run speed test a lot. So obviously if you load the device up, when you're playing 3D games, then yeah, you can probably still kill the phone in 1 day. If you're tethering, you're going to kill it in the couple of hours that we've talked about. But if you're sort of checking periodically and just using it for calls, then yeah, obviously you can make it through 2 days or maybe even more if you're really, really careful. So yeah, that's a quick look at the RAZR MAXX. And again, this is sort of the first time that we've seen a phone that is designed sort of to accommodate this huge battery without it being an extra or an add-on, and good on Motorola for doing that. So thanks again.